Take a few moments to find your way onto your back. Lowering yourself onto your mat into Shavasana. And take the arms and legs wide away from your body and let them settle into the ground beneath you. Redirect your thoughts, your mind to your breath. Just following the gentle ins and outs of the breath. Allowing that to become the focus. Letting go of any other distractions. Anything from your day, your week. Those thoughts that may be drawing you away from your mat today, let them go. Focus instead on the breath. Focus on lengthening the breath and slowing it. Feeling it as it passes in and out through your nose. And send a big breath deep into your belly. Let it rise up towards the sky. As you softly exhale, let it contract and lower back down towards the earth. Big breath in, belly rise. A slow breath out as the belly falls. Hold on to that same slow rhythm of breath as you find softness through the face, the jaw. Feel the weight of your limbs melting into the ground. Hold on to that same sense of heaviness, that weight of the body, that stillness. As you start to turn the gaze over to the right, send the right ear down towards the mat. The left shoulder remain heavy. The gaze comes back through center. Then over to the left. Keep the left ear and the right shoulder heavy towards the mat. And play with the height of your chin, tucking it in close or lifting it to see where you feel the stretch most. Bring your gaze back through center. And start to slowly awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Finding some gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles in both directions. Slide the feet together at the bottom of your mat and draw the knees in towards the chest one by one. Take hold of them, interlacing the fingers around the knees or the shins. Lengthen through the spine and then hug the knees in close. Take a gentle rock from side to side, massage your low back. Pause in the center. Keep the right knee hugged in, let the sole of the left foot find the floor. Reach for a strap, so that can be a yoga strap, a leash, a belt, a towel. Loop it over the ball of the right foot and start to send the right foot up towards the sky. Depending on how open you are through the back of the thigh, the hamstring, you may find that the heel's a little bit closer to the floor. That's okay. We're working towards a straight leg, so as soon as you start to feel the knee bending, that's the point you're going to want to stop. Reach the right heel towards the sky with a deep flex in the ankle. You can stay here with the left leg bent, or you can extend the left leg long to the bottom of the mat. If the left leg is extended, you want it to stay active with the left toes drawn towards your face, pointing up towards the sky. Send your right hip crease away from the shoulders down into the mat. And continue to lengthen from the right heel to the base of the right hip, pressing firm into the ground. Can you find a sense of softness to the upper body, maybe letting the biceps, the upper arms rest on the floor? Just using the strap with a little bit of extra tension, guiding the toes towards the floor behind your head. It goes without saying that they do not have to touch. Just a few more breaths here in the center. Check in, see if you're able to go a little bit deeper. Maybe the leg has started to ease off to create space. Bring both straps into the right hand. You can place the left hand on the left hip, encouraging it down into the mat. Keep the deep flex in the right ankle with the toes drawn towards the face. Without lifting the left hip, start to open the right leg up to the right side. Moving slowly and mindfully. Continue reaching the toes of the right foot beyond the right shoulder, so it's not just going over to the side. You want to go up beyond the right shoulder and then over to the right. Pausing at the point that you start to feel the left hip try to lift up off of the mat. Use your left hand to encourage it back down, and use that as your point of reference. That's where you want to stay. Looking on opening up through the right hip, the right inner thigh. Can you find some stability through the right wrist, holding on to the strap? Notice if it's buckling under the pressure. Can you find some strength through the wrist and some stability? With control, draw the right leg back through center. Take a breath or two here in the center, maybe switching the grip into the left hand with the strap. Slide the palm of the hand, the right hand, onto the floor, and slide it underneath of the right hip. Press the right hip firmly into the right hand, as if it's trying to stop the right hand from sliding out from beneath it. With the right hip still pressing into the right hand, start to cross the right leg over to the left side of the room, pausing when you feel the right hip start to lift. So you're only going to move the right foot a couple of inches. Keep pressing the right hip down into the right hand. From here, take a bit of an internal rotation through the right hip. Start to turn the right toes over to the left a couple of inches. And pause there. Right hip keeps reaching into the right hand, into the floor. Deep flex in the right ankle. And again, just kind of drawing the right toes beyond the left shoulder, not just over to the side. Slowly release, come back through center. Take the strap in both of your hands. Just finding a few breaths in the center. Maybe you're able to find a little more depth now that we've been here before. Bend the left leg if it's not already there. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Release your strap. Turn the right toes to face the right side of the room, bend at the right knee. Let the pinky toe edge of the right foot land on the left thigh, creating a figure 4 shape with the legs. Send the right knee away from the right shoulder, at the same time pressing down firm through the left hip. If you're feeling a nice stretch here, stay as you are. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, draw the left knee in towards you. Take hold of the back of the left thigh. Keep sending the right knee away from the shoulder. And as the left knee draws in, it starts to slide over to the left side beyond the ribs a little bit. Keep your tailbone and all 4 corners of the pelvis pressing into the mat. Stay open through the chest. The shoulders rest softly on the floor. If you notice the shoulders or the tailbone are lifting up, it could be a sign that you're going a little bit too far. Each time you draw that left knee in, you want to make sure that the right knee is equally reaching away from the shoulders. Those opposing forces. Slowly release the left foot onto the mat. Keep the right leg just as it is in that figure 4 shape. Start to tip the knees over to the right side of the room. So it's as if the inseam of the left pant leg is coming towards the floor. You may notice that the pinky toe edge of the right foot goes from the front of the left thigh to the top now, the outer edge of the left thigh. Using it as a little bit of added weight. And take a few breaths here. Maybe you extend your arms out at your sides. Think about lifting the left hip up slightly and over to the right as the inner left thigh, left knee reach down towards the mat. You can stay here just as you are. And we're going to bring a little bit of a twist into it. Sort of a stretch for the low back. Bring the left arm over to meet the right, lifting the left shoulder up slightly off of the floor. Maybe you can bring the hands onto the floor, turn the heart over towards facing the floor. So the legs are still in that figure 4 position, but now our hands are on the floor, the chest and shoulders are lifted, as if we're into a bit of a push-up position. Start to lower down onto the forearms. Keep the gaze and heart facing the floor. And depending on how open you are, you may even start to walk the forearms over to the right a little bit, away from the knees. Just watching any pain or discomfort in the low back, come back to lying on your back. Slowly walk the arms back towards the left a little bit. Lift the left arm off of the mat. Open your heart up to the sky as you lower your back onto the floor. And taking just 1 or 2 more breaths here. And drawing the knees back through center. Releasing the right foot onto the floor, take a gentle sway from side to side. Let that go. Hug the knees in towards the belly, interlace the fingers around them. Give them a squeeze. Let the sole of the right foot find the floor. Reach for the strap once again, this time onto the left foot. Move the strap over the ball of the left foot by the toe mounds. And send the left foot up towards the sky. Deep flex in your ankle. Just noticing if you feel a little bit tighter on the side or if you have a little more space. It's normal to be different from side to side. Decide if you'd like to keep the right leg bent or to extend it long, staying active through the right leg. Deep flex in the right ankle, draw the right kneecap towards the hip. And on the left side, you're pressing down firm through the left hip crease as you guide it away from the shoulders. Every breath in, find some length of the left side of your body, of the entire length of your left leg. Every breath out, maybe you're able to draw the toes a little bit closer to the floor behind you. Find a little more depth into the stretch. It's okay to have a bit of a bend in the left knee to protect the joint, as long as you're feeling a stretch into the back of the left thigh. Every few breaths, see if you're able to go a little bit deeper. Giving the leg a chance to feel safe and supported, for the muscles to relax into the stretch and find more depth. Bring the straps into just the left hand, releasing the right. Let the right palm rest on the right hip, encourage it down into the mat. Left toes are reaching beyond the left shoulder and over to the left side now. Don't let the right hip lift up. We're not coming into a twist. We're not coming to lie on our side. Just opening the left leg up to the left side of the room and beyond the left shoulders. Stay active through your right leg here. Keep the right toes drawn towards the face and pointing up towards the sky. Not tipping from one side to the other. And find strength in the left wrist. Nice, stable, and straight wrist. It's going to want to buckle and turn the knuckles to the side of the room. And play with a bit of an internal and external rotation of the toes, maybe pointing up towards the sky on the left or down towards the mat. See where you can move the stretch in the inner thigh. Just a few more breaths on this side. Come back through center. Take a few breaths here in the center. Find more depth. Each time we return to the center point, the body's been here before. It's going to recognize the stretch and allow you a little more space. Take the straps into the right hand this time. Slide the left palm underneath of the left hip on the floor. Palm faces the floor, left hip is pressing down, sandwiching the hand between you and the floor. Keep that left hand pressed firm with the left hip so that the hand's not able to slide out. Picturing the left foot here at 12 o'clock, start to shift it over to about 1 o'clock. So you're bringing it towards the right side of the room, just a couple of inches. Press down firm into the left hand. Turn the toes now to about 2 o'clock. So a little bit of an internal rotation at the hip. Keep a deep flex in the left ankle, press down firm through the outer left hip. And draw the toes beyond the right shoulder. Stay active through the extended right leg. Slowly return through center. Release the left hand. Take a breath or two in center. Bend the right knee. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor. Release your strap. Turn the toes of the left foot to face the left side of the room. Bend at the left knee. Let the pinky toe edge of the left foot press into the right thigh. Guide the left knee away from your shoulders. Press down firm through the right hip. Keep sending the left knee away from the left shoulder, at the same time sending the right hip away from the left shoulder. If you're still not feeling a stretch, you can draw the right knee in towards you, interlacing behind the thigh or the shin. Start to guide the right thigh a little bit over to the right, beyond the ribs towards the outer right shoulder. The left knee keeps reaching away from the left shoulder. Maintain a deep flex in the left ankle, drawing the left toes towards the shin, or you can be soft to the right ankle. Lower the right foot onto the mat. We're going to find that twist, so keep the left leg just as it is in that figure 4 position. Start to tip the knees over to the left side of the room. So the inner right thigh is reaching down towards the mat. It does not have to touch. Think about lifting the right hip, the front of the right hip, up towards the sky and over to the left as you press down firm through the inner right knee. Pause here at first for a few breaths. You can take the arms extended wide, or they can be in cactus formation. Breathing space into the front of the right hip, right belly, right waist. Maybe you're happy with the stretch just as you are. Stay here, please. If you'd like to experiment, go a little bit deeper, find a bit more of a twist. Bring the right arm across your body to meet the left. So you're going to lift the right shoulder off the mat a bit. Heart faces forward. Bring the arms, the hands onto the mat. You're coming into a bit of a twist by turning the chest to face the floor. You can stay lifted up onto arms, or onto hands rather, or you can come down onto your forearms. Maybe start walking the hands and forearms over to the left a little bit. Equal weight both left and right arms. So you're drawing the right shoulder towards the mat, the left shoulder up a little bit. Gaze is down towards the floor with a neutral neck. Walk the arms back towards the right a little. Lift the right arm up. Start to lower back down onto your back. And you'll feel the knees lift up, that's okay. And take a few breaths here on your back. Draw the knees through center. Release the left foot onto the floor to meet the right. Take a couple of sways from side to side with the knees. Let that go. And find your center, heel toe, the feet towards the center. Let the soles of the feet come to touch, the knees fall wide apart like a book, creating a diamond shape with the legs. Closer the heels are to the pelvis, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling, so you can slide the toes away if you like to ease off of it. Arms can be wide at your sides, or you can make fists with your hands and slide them beneath the thighs for a little added support. Either variation, tuck the shoulder blades beneath you, stay open through the chest. Just reconnect with the breath as it moves through your body. Draw the knees towards each other, with or without the help of your hands. Right arm comes up overhead, roll over onto your right side body. You can use the right arm as a pillow. Let the left palm rest softly on the floor or on your body. Draw the knees in towards the chest, rounding through the spine. When you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. The shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Move through a few cat and cows. Take a big breath in, lift the tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On an exhale, tuck the tailbone around your spine, chin to chest, gaze to your belly button. Inhale for cow, lift your tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat. Lowering the chin to your chest, really press firm to the hands as you drive your heart up to the sky. Cow pose on the inhale. Cat on the exhale. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Following your own rhythm of breath. Taking one more in each direction. Landing with a neutral spine. And bring the left palm of your hand beneath your face. Reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. Open your heart up to the right. Gaze up. On the exhale, thread the right arm through the space you've created between the left arm and your body. Palm faces up as you lower the right shoulder towards the mat. Press down firm through the left hand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it through. Right palm faces up as you slide it over to the left. One more time, big breath in. As you breathe out, slide the right arm through, over to the left, this time letting the right shoulder, top right corner of the head rest on the floor. Press down firm to the entire length of the right arm, including the fingertips. And as the right fingertips are drawn to the left, the right shoulder keeps drawn back into its joint on the right. Left elbow can stay bent, or you can extend the fingertips long towards the end of the mat. Keep pressing down firm to the back side of the right hand. Slide the left hand in towards you. Press down firm through the left fingertips. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right hand onto the mat. Tabletop pose. Take a gentle sway from side to side. Let that side go. Find your neutral. Bring the right hand a little bit closer to the center, beneath your face. Weight comes into the right hand. Inhale, reach up with the left. Open your heart up to the left side of the room. On the exhale, slide the right hand through. Palm faces up, left shoulder reaches for the mat. Press down through the right hand. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, this time we're going to thread it through and hold the position. So slide the left fingertips over to the right, palm faces up. Left shoulder, top left corner of the head rests onto the mat. Press down firm through the left shoulder, the entire length of the arm, and the back side of the left hand. Option to walk the fingertips towards the end of the mat as you gaze up beneath the right armpit. Can you square up the hips a little bit? Keep them lifted. And slide the right hand back in towards you. Press down firm through the right palm. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, left palm to the mat. Let the big toes come to touch. The knees go nice and wide. Shift your hips back towards the heels for a wide-legged child's pose. Slide the fingertips away from you as the forehead comes to rest on the floor. Can you be active through the arms here? Fingertips are sliding forward, but the shoulders are drawn back into their joint. Press down firm through the hands so the arms activate. Fingertips spread wide. Shoulder blades are drawn down your back and into the ribs as your hips grow heavy. Keep the knees nice and wide here. The big toes stay touching. Start to slide forward. Shoulders come over the wrists. So the knees are still wide. Big toes still touching. You can start to slide the knees back a little bit or even walk the hands forward a little bit depending on how much space you need in your body. We want a nice long line of energy from the shoulders to the hips to the knees rather than having the bum stick up in the sky or scoot down towards the floor. Core is active and engaged here. With the knees nice and wide, it's going to create a sense of openness to the hips and inner thighs. Stay here, this can be a lot as it is. Or keep the big toes touching, start to lift the heels in towards the bum without sinking the hips down low. Lower the toes back down to the floor. Really stay connected to the core here. The hips are going to want to bobble up and down. Instead, keep a long line of energy as you draw the heels towards your bum. Core stays active, squeeze those glutes. Lower the toes. This time we're going to draw the heels in and hold the position. So squeezing the glutes, the thighs, the belly draws in, low ribs tuck in. Keep breathing. You can also do this pose down on forearms if you have wrist sensitivities, or come up onto fists. Release the toes back onto the floor, send your hips back, child's pose. Let that go. Can you find some softness, maybe letting this one be a little more passive? Releasing the arms onto the mat, bend at the elbows. Draw yourself forward. Find your tabletop. Hips are over the knees. You can create space between the big toes now. Take a few sways from side to side. Let that go. We're going to slide the right leg back behind you. Straighten through the right, still bent on the left. Turn the right toes to face the right side of the room and slide the right leg in line with the left knee to pause. So the right foot's out at the side of the room now, lining up the left knee with the inner arch of the right foot. So it's as if you're creating a triangle here with the legs. Left hip is over top of the left knee. Walk the hands in towards you, maybe up onto the hips as you rise up for gate pose. Toes are pointing forward, press down through the pinky toe edge of the right. Keep the left hip stacked. Inhale, reach up. Find some length, and as you exhale, right hand comes onto the right leg. Find a side bend over to the right side. Keep pressing down firm through the left knee, opening up through the left side of your body. Rise back up. This time the left hand's going to come down onto the floor. If that's a little far for you, you can bring the left hand onto a chair or onto a block if you have them. Reach the right fingertips long. I'm going to bend at the elbow because there's a wall there. But you can extend through the right fingertips. Press down firm through the pinky toe edge of the right foot. If your space is limited, you can instead reach through the elbow like I'm doing here, creating as much length up the right side body as you can. Rise back up as you breathe in. You can always bring your hand onto your hip if that helps, or just use your core strength to rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Bring the hands down onto the mat. Start to heel toe the right foot in a little bit, bending at the knee. And turn the right toes to face out to the right side wall. You can keep your hands on the floor. I'm going to bring my hands up onto my hips so that you can better see my legs. We're still bent at the left knee, left hip stacked above it. Stay open through the front of the pelvis. Right knee is bent with the toes pointing in the same direction as the knee, over to the right side. And you can have your hands on your hips or on the floor. We're going to start to walk the hands over to the right, bending a little deeper into the right knee, sending the knee beyond the toes, opening up to the inner left thigh. Come back through center. So again, hands on the floor or on your hips. Send the right knee beyond the toes. And back through center. It's okay to bring the knee beyond the toes as long as they're pointing the same direction here. Be a little bit lighter on the foot so that if it needs to, it can lift up and pivot a little bit to protect the knee joint. Opening up towards the right. Sinking the inner left thigh towards the mat. Lift back up. Over to the right. Lift back up. This time we're going to come over to the right and hold. So holding that sense of stretch through the inner left thigh. Really think about squeezing the inner thighs towards each other and activating through the core. Keep breathing. Rise back up. Bring the hands onto the mat if they're not already there. Heel toe the foot towards the top right corner of the mat. So take as many steps as you need. Maybe that's just one big step. Maybe you heel toe, take your time to get there. Landing in a wide lunge here. Left leg is extended long behind you. Both hands to the inside of the right leg. Just taking a minute here, finding your position, squaring up the hips. Point the toes of the right foot slightly out to the right. Maybe you tip over onto the pinky toe edge, showing the inseam of the right pant leg to the sky. Really focus on lengthening through the low back. Without actually moving the right foot, think about drawing the right heel towards the back of the mat and in towards the midline. Bring the sole of the right foot back onto the mat, heel toe the right foot through center, framing the right foot with your hands. Find a low lunge here. Long spine. Right knee is above the right ankle, pointing the same direction as the toes. As much or as little bend in the back leg as you need, as long as you're feeling a stretch into the front of the left thigh, the front of the left hip. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other as the outer hips reach out and back. Walk the hands towards the hips. Keep the sole of the foot pressing into the mat all the way down to the toes. Straightening the right leg until you feel the toes start to try to lift up off the mat, then pause there. Keep pressing down firm as if you're stepping into a gas pedal or pressing the foot firmly on the mat. The right hip is reaching towards the back of the mat. Left hip in line with the left heel. From here, lift the left or right toes rather off of the floor, draw them towards the shin. Just changing where it is that we're feeling the stretch. You may be able to walk the hands back a little bit further. And really focus on squaring up the hips here. The right hip is going to want to reach towards that left heel. Focus on having the left hip come towards the left heel instead. Walk the hands back forward. One more big breath in your low lunge. Right hand comes to the inside of the right leg, heel toe the right foot over. And slide the right leg back to meet the left. Take gentle sway from side to side with your hips, let that go. We're going to move to the opposite side. And so we'll extend the left leg long behind you. Turn the toes to face the left. And slide the left foot over to the left side of the room in line with the right knee. So you want that inner arch to right knee alignment as you walk your hands in towards the legs and up onto the hips. Right hip stays stacked above the right knee. Press down firm through the pinky toe edge. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, left hand to the left thigh. Slide the left hand down. Find your side bend over to the left. Really press down firm through the right hip. Keep the right hips from coming to the left. And you want the heart facing the room in front of you, not the floor below. Rise back up all the way. Exhale, bring the right fingertips onto the floor or a block, a chair. Heart stays open to the room in front of you. Left fingertips are reaching and extending long overhead. It's about finding a long straight line from the left fingertips to the pinky toe edge of the left foot. Stay strong through the right shoulder rather than sinking down into it. Strong, active core, pausing with the left hand on the hip if you need, otherwise rising all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in. Soft breath out. Lower the hands onto the mat. Heel toe the left foot in through center a little bit. Turning the left toes to face the left side wall. Pointing the same direction as the left knee. Again, you can keep your hands on the floor. I'm going to rise up so you can see my legs. Left knee pointing the same direction as the toes. You can have the heel as close to the other leg as you need, or as far away. Working towards stacking the left knee over the left ankle though. Facing the front of the room, squaring the pelvis up as much as you can with the front of the room as well. So you want to find a sense of openness through that left thigh, but depending on how tight you are, you may not have quite as much. Maybe the left knee is at a bit of an angle forward. Be light on the toes. so that the foot's able to adjust if needed. Walking the hands over to the left side, keep the entire sole of the left foot on the floor as you send the inner right thigh to the mat. Come back through center. Again, fingertips on the floor or on your hips. Send the left knee over to the left. Keep that left heel pressing down. Rise back up. Over to the left. Rise back up. You can always pad beneath the right knee if you need. Lowering down. Come back up. This time we're going to lower and hold. So really find your depth here. Press down firm through the inner right knee and the sole of the left heel. Stay facing the rim in front of you. Rise back up all the way. Bring the hands to the floor if they're not already there, and heel toe your left foot to the top left corner of the mat. Getting there however you need to. So maybe you take one big step, maybe you take a bunch of little steps. Readjusting the right leg so that it can extend long behind you. Stay here with the sole of the left foot on the floor, the left toes pointing slightly out. Or you can lift the inner arch up off of the floor, coming onto the pinky toe edge, as if you're showing the inseam of the left pant leg to the sky. Sinking the hips low, but maintaining control over them. You don't want to become completely passive and just sink and relax the hips. You want them to stay active by squeezing them in towards one another, finding active glutes and thighs. Stay open through the chest with a long spine. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor, heel toe the left foot through center, framing it with your hands, landing in your low lunge. You want to have a little bit of a wider stance here. So our default is always to come into almost a tightrope situation with the right leg directly behind the left heel. Instead, find about hip distance apart with the legs. Left toes point forward, left knees pointing the same direction with equal weight on big toe mound and pinky toe mound of the left foot. Keep pressing down firm through the front of the left foot as if there's a weight on top of your toes. Without lifting those toes, start to walk the hands back towards the hips. Send the hips back towards the right heel, straightening through the front leg. Keep pressing down through the toes. We want to find some stretch up the front of the left ankle here. Big toe mound and pinky toe mound side equally weighted into the mat. Left hip is reaching towards the back left corner, right hip's reaching towards the back right corner of the mat. From here, allow the toes to lift up, draw them towards your shin. Maybe you're able to walk the fingertips back a little bit further. Stay with a long spine. That left hip is going to want to creep over towards the inner arch of the right foot. Keep it drawn to the left. The right hip in line with the right heel. This is also a great place for blocks. You can always bring blocks beneath the hands if you have them, or stacks of books. It's going to allow you to stay a little bit straighter through the spine and keep the heart lifted and open. Walk the hands forward, bend through the left knee, find a low lunge. Left hand comes to the inside of the left foot, heel toe the left foot to the outer edge. Slide the left foot back to meet the right. And take a gentle sway from side to side with the hips. Find your center. Big toes come to touch, knees go nice and wide. Shift the hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Allow the forehead to rest on something. Close the eyes. You can choose whether to have this be a passive or an active child's pose by either pressing down firm through the hands and activating through the arms, or bending softly at the elbows, letting the forearms rest on your mat. Either variation, sending your breath into your back body, feeling the expansion of the entire torso with each breath in, and allowing the hips to grow heavy towards the heels with each breath out. And taking as much time as you need here in your child's pose. When the time feels right in your body, just offer 1 or 2 more breaths before rising up slowly, and going on with the rest of your day and your week to follow. With such gratitude for you joining me in practice today and always. Namaste.